What's up, Bencrafters? My name is Bencraft, and welcome to Top 10 Places to Loot in PlayerUnknown's Battleground. Believe it or not, there are several spots in the game which is better to loot than others, but it is all according to how many other teams and players which is looting at the same time, the amount of top tier loot such as level 3 helmets and vest and etc. And if there are any vehicles nearby, vehicles often is important according to the safe zone, and of course the safe zone is very important as well. It often ends up in the middle, around the middle, and not often in the edges, so where the safe zone ends up is really important. So in this video I will give my top 10 places to loot according to those terms and according to some articles and websites I will link down below in the description. And I also found a plane path website which actually can be very helpful in game. So I will leave that below in the description. But let's get to the countdown. Number 10. At number 10 we got Rozhok. Rozhok lies almost in the middle, maybe a little bit north of the middle from the main map Erangel. Yeah, the main map is called Erangel. It lies right north from school and is a very little village with a few houses. There's a river nearby which is crossed by 2 bridges in the area. At the same time there's a water tower on a cliff nearby which gives very good view and is very popular to get good vision on. Rozhok is number 10 because it is a very high populated area, very dangerous. It lies next to school, which is even more popular, and that means if you land alone there's always someone coming there after looting school. So the loot there is very mediocre. You can get everything from very great loot to very bad loot. It all depends on luck and how many players you are in your group. The really nice thing is that it's in the middle and it's always in or near the safe zone, and there's also a lot of cars nearby. Number 9. At number 9 we have school. School is a scary place, both in real life, but a bit more scary in PUBG. School lies, as I said earlier, a little bit southeast from Rozhok, and it's a very common landing spot. The loot there are good at times if you land as a group, or kill all the other enemies landing there. Because you see, you're almost never alone when you're landing on school, so it's very easy to get yourself killed. What is nice about the place is that it's as I said earlier, with Rozhok it's in the middle, so it's almost every time close or in the safe zone. So and it's really close to Rozhok, so you can loot that as well, and it got a lot of car spawns there. Number 8. At number 8 we have the underground bunkers. The bunkers lies north of Mylta and west for the crater, and northwest from the woodcutter's camp. So now if you get the idea where it is. The bunker is a really good spot when you're playing duo or solo, because there's exactly enough loot for what you need. The bunkers often have level 3 stuff and very good weapons. It is a very popular place though, so be always prepared you're not alone. The safe zone may vary, but there may be a very few car drones and vehicles nearby, so you might have to run. Number 7. Novorepnoye is at number 7. I think that's correct. It lies on what I like to call it a military island. It lies east from the main base and is rich on both vehicles and weapons. The only problem is this place is also very often populated and maybe a big risk to loot in. So be prepared for a fight. At the same time, the bridge to the mainland may be a hazard, and Novorepnoye may be very far from the safe zone or in the safe zone. It all depends on luck. Number 6. At number 6 we got Zharki, and you may be wondering, why Zharki? Well, it lies in the top left corner of the map and it's a very small village, kinda small, but the loot is actually very good. Zharki is also a perfect size for a group. Often people don't land there, and there's always some kind of vehicle nearby, so the biggest problem is usually the safe zone, because on luck it might happen to be everywhere, so because being so far from the rest of the world, it makes it kind of desolate and you might go a long way. Number 5. Coming up at number 5 we have the one and only Sosnovka military base. The base is located on the middle of the island, south of the map. Now many people will consider this their number 1 landing spot, or some would consider it their number 10 landing spot. That's mostly because people prefer differently. At the military base you're most certain never alone, and you're always in a fight. But why do you land there then? The loot, of course, the loot is absolutely amazing. You always find gear up to level 3, and snipers, ARs, whatever you need, both for you and your team. So, if you, of course, win the place first, but many people dislike this place because it's so heavily populated. On the positive side, there's usually plenty of vehicles nearby, and if you're lucky, the safe zone might be around the whole island. Number 4. Mylta Power is our number 4 spot, lying east of the city of Mylta, southeast of the map. The power and power plant is a great place to loot. And yes, there's a high chance of dying, and that there might be a lot of other people fighting for your loot. Besides from that, this place is great. Mylta isn't always overcrowded, and there's plenty of good loot for solos, duos and groups. There's almost always vehicles nearby, and when you finish looting Mylta Power, you can start on the power plant. Or in the opposite direction. It all differs from what people, where people land. But me, I love Mylta Power. Number 3. Starting with our last top 3, we have Pochinki. Yes, we have the city of Pochinki. It lies almost in the middle, just south of Rozhok, and north for the military island. Pochinki is a large city, filled with great loot for your team and yourself. It's a very risky place, but looting tactical and together in this area works very nicely. Pochinki is very often in the safe zone, and there's almost always a car nearby. The scary thing about Pochinki though is the open fields surrounding the city. Besides from that, it's very nice. Number 2. At number 2 we have Yasnaya Polyana. I think that's correct. Now Yasnaya lies northeast of Rozhok, far north from the bunkers, making it an excellent place to loot. Not only is it often close to safe zone, but the city is large, and by large I mean a lot of loot. There could be 3 teams of 4 there without you even knowing it. There's of course very dangerous to land there, but often I don't consider it very risky. Not many people choose to land there, so if you do, be prepared for a small fight with a lot of great loot. And if you're lucky, there might be a vehicle spawn nearby. I landed there plenty of times without finding a vehicle though, so don't keep your hopes up. And number 1, and the winner, and the best place to loot in the game, in my opinion, Georgopol. Now I told you Yasnaya was large. Georgopol is even bigger. Lying west from Rozhok and south to Zharki, Georgopol is parted with a river in the middle crossed by a bridge. There's plenty of loot on both sides of the bridge. There's always vehicles nearby, and of course there's great loot. You have the hospital, and the distances are great, so if there is an enemy nearby you would most likely know or see them in the distance. Georgopol also have the containers, which is a very common place to land, and which also have a lot of great loot. It often ends up in the safe zone, and I must say that looting in Georgopol goes very fast and is super fun. So that was my list of the top 10 places to loot in PlayerUnknown's Battleground. What do you think? Do you agree with my list? Do you want to change some of my list? I should have added some honorable mentions, like the farm is kind of nice if you're alone. There's plenty of places that you can loot. You can loot Mylta, you can loot the ferry. I don't most like the ferry, but you can do that. You also have the spawn island, which is kind of cool, but I think the top 10 list made it pretty good. I think these are the best places to loot. I will also leave down below in the description all links to all the articles and maps which you can find helpful, if that will help you on to the greatest place to loot. But mostly following this list works really nicely. So thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you want, and until later, stay awesome. Bencraft over now.